Coming up, it's the last week of the preseason. We're going to talk about what's at stake for Caleb Williams and other players on this roster. 53-man roster battles. It all starts right now on CHGO Bears. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. It is Tuesday, August 19th. We are less than 3 weeks away now from the opener on Monday Night Football. Bears and Vikings should be big. If you thought the ratings were big the other night, did you guys see this? Fox just came out, said 5.1 million people tuned in for a preseason bonanza. Wait a minute.
I thought you were going to say
that guy in the middle of the screen.
Hoge, I first of all, it's just so good to see you. It's so good to see Gregory. I believe the text to me right before the show, because I was a little bit late coming in here, is "Where are you at?" F face, which was, that's what I needed to get back in here. I
didn't even see you there.
Yeah, I missed you guys. It was an unbelievable. It was the greatest day in Bears preseason history. 38-0 in all. I did think about retiring for the betterment of you and Greg and Bears fans everywhere. But, hey, since it was only the preseason, I figured I'd come back. Thank you for welcoming me back to the show. I feel warm inside.
Well, I feel bad because we lied to our viewers. We told them on the postgame show that we got over 1,000 likes on that postgame show. Carm wouldn't come back till Wednesday. And I think we hit 3,000.
That's
5 seconds.
That's not nice. And years of therapy has, I built this outer shell that it just rolls right off of me. But yeah.
No. Everybody's happy that you're back. I am. I know that.
It was. It's all right, Gregory.
I was promised Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah. Well, listen, on my drive back last night, I put on Bears After Dark and I heard your voice, and shockingly, I lasted for at least 6 minutes of the show, just enjoying you through the rain, and then it was just it was getting so stressful coming back down that we needed some peaceful, deep breathing vibes. So I had to
awesome thunderstorms last night. So shout out to Mother Nature. If you had a chance to go out and
it was something.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, maybe dangerous to drive it.
They're finally going to have a weekend here, and the lake's going to be no wake. And stop raining. I'm good with the rain. All right, let's jump in. Carm is back. We are going to talk about a lot of things. So it's kind of a weird week. Bears played Sunday. They play again Friday. There's actually really only one real practice this week. So tomorrow we will have an actual practice to cover, and we will do a post-practice show. Big one. It's gonna be padded tomorrow and everything, so it should be a good one. So tomorrow's show will be that way. But basically, we're getting closer to just being back to our regular noon schedule here, and most of this week is that way. Thursday will be at noon. Friday, of course, we'll have pre and post game coverage for the game against the Chiefs. We're going to talk about whether or not the starters should play in that one. We already got word on the Chiefs side of that, and we're gonna talk about what's at stake this week with the 53-man roster, because there is a lot. So we will dive into all of that. Of course, Bears training camp coverage is sponsored by Ray Auto Group. Go check out the new vehicles in store, Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And this is your chance to score a great deal. The Labor Day sales event. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram vehicles. All right, we're going to start and give Carm the opportunity to do what he was unable to do Sunday's post game because he wasn't there. Carm, your best and worst. You've watched the game. You've watched the tape. What did you think from that amazing 38-0 preseason victory?
Well, first off, as I wind around here, Hogue, thank you. My best was my friends at Ray Chevy. The track's just running so smooth, 6 hours and 10 minutes up to camp in Nebagamon for an incredible week of
doing mushrooms.
Well, sure, but I did it this year. Thank you, Greg. It was actually a fairly sober week, although not. I mean, since I hadn't had a drink in 54 days, we did enjoy the happy hour at Nebagamon. Great 5 o'clock hour. But as far as the Bear game, rewatched it this morning. I watched the first couple of series Sunday night up there, and just Caleb. Obviously, I think that's everyone's best. But I'm going to just jumping off of that performance. I thought Luther Burden just had another phenomenal day. Greg Olsen and them underlining his blocking at the goal line. Ryan Poles underlining. I can guarantee you it wasn't that way at the start of training camp, and here it is today. So it's the Ben Johnson impact all over the place, right? I mean, the quarterback, the plan seems to be coming into place. The wide receiver who you took because he fell because of character concerns is now playing on point, blocking at the goal line, getting open, making catches all over the field. And then Olsen actually slipped something from Poles saying that, Ryan might be mad at me, but he thinks that this guy could actually be better than DJ and Rome if it all comes together because of his talent level, which is why they made him the 39th overall pick. So I just think Luther's had a phenomenal camp. I thought he had a great game. It's just exciting to see him doing a ton of things out there.
Well, isn't that, Carm, interesting when you watch the game and how much they really highlighted the blocking, that it does kind of leave secondary how much he was making plays. Like he gets open and he's got moves. He had that little shimmy move down the sideline to create a little bit more yards after catch. But through all of it the other night, I think it kind of got lost just how open Luther Burden can get.
Right. And Hogue, you got to see him return a punt, which I'm sure you had a big smile on your face at that point. And, Greg, to your point, he's fast and he's super twitchy. You see that the shimmy shake, if you will, of Luther, and he's big. So, if they can get Luther to, touch the full Luther, if you will. I mean, this guy could be a dynamic player for the Bears. The full Luther, Hogue. What do you think? The full Luther?
I think we could do better on the phrasing there. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. We could.
Other than what you just, other than that sentence that just came up. Besides that, what was your worst?
So my worst, other than the fact that was the longest game in the history of games, and
you don't get to complain about that.
I know.
Midnight post game show.
I know. The 2-hour rewatch. I'm like, are you kidding? The end of the first half, like, come on. And the virtual measurement, dude. Maurice Alexander didn't catch the football. What are you doing? I thought the refs were. It was just absolutely, positively exhausting.
We were joking at the end of the game when the Bills challenged with like 3 minutes left in the game how much you would have either lost your mind or been completely.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It was enough this morning. But my worst, and I hate to do this because we have a lot of quarterback conversations in this town. And I just remember so many people telling me how great Mitch Trubisky was going to be and how much we had to sit here for years and tell these people over to my right, screens left, that this guy's terrible. Mitch Trubisky was so unbelievably horrendous. And the fact that he's backing up some guy that whoever that was, and then and now he looks worse than Austin Reed. And we had to sit here in this city because we've drafted him 2 overall and trade up that Mitch somehow could play. And then it was literally annoying me at how bad he was. I thought it was actually a great early in the week that he missed having the spotlight of Chicago and his advice to Caleb. I thought that was a great little Mitch moment. But just watching him irritated me. I was expecting something nice from Mitch. I'm like, oh, you're terrible. Like really terrible. So at any rate, that was I don't think there was a lot of bad for the Bears. I mean, Terrell Smith getting hurt, that sucked. But, I'm sure that's been covered. So I just thought the whole Mitch thing just made me go back in time and realize that, they drafted that guy over the other 2 and just how bad it really was.
Yeah, Mitch, I didn't think Mitch looked good in that game either, but apparently he's still going to be their backup quarterback. Our guy Joe Buscalia was on Hogan John's Monday, and he's like, yeah, it'll probably still be Mitch. And apparently Mitch he thought that Mike White was way worse than Mitch, but we don't need to do a Buffalo Bills backup quarterback conversation here. What do you think mattered most from that game, Carm?
Yeah, so I mean, the Ben impact was what's standing out to me. But I thought that Ryan Poles' interview at the end was very telling because he underlined that. What do you like most about this team, Joe Davis? As the offensive line, mainly the interior of the offensive line, and how that the plan is that they're going to use those guys to establish the run game. And I just think it's coming into a very clear focus as to what's going to happen here. The Bears are going to try to be physical and put it in your face, both offensively and defensively, with Dennis Allen obviously leading the charge there. And Poles just kind of underlining it. And then you're seeing it, not so much with the starters, obviously, the running back and Monungai being out and all that stuff. But I think the plan of how this is going to go early on, as they get Caleb, up the food chain to, hopefully the top of that food chain and just, to be a star in this league. It's just, it seems to me from everything they're doing that they're going to try to be a physical, put it on the ground in your face and throw it alongside of that football team to start it out and try to win this way. And, try to win in a kind of an old school Chicago Bears way in modern day football, at least at the start. Does that make sense? Am I the only? Is that
absolutely. I mean, this is what Ben Johnson's identity on offense in Detroit was. I mean, they are a run-first physical team, and Dan Campbell certainly gets a lot of the credit for that, and rightfully so. But Ben Johnson is also somebody that had a heavy hand in implementing that mentality from offensive line to running the football, whether it was Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift 4 years ago, or it's last year with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. So it'll be interesting to see how this running back room shakes out. I know we'll probably talk about some of that here later, but when we talk about the run game here in Chicago, we seem to only focus on what the running backs can do and not how much this offensive line could potentially help elevate these running backs as well. And so, you saw a little bit of that the other night, and Joe Thuney didn't even play. So and if we, yes, have a very critical eye towards the left tackle spot right now, but if there's one thing that Braxton Jones can do well, it's run block. And so, I think most offensive linemen would tell you they'd prefer to run block over pass block, and engage into who they're, going against, across from them. But, so yes, I agree. I think when you're looking for security blankets for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson and developing this high octane offense that people envision, it's going to start with security blanket 1 being the run game, security blanket 1A and 1B being the offensive line and Drew Dahlman, and then those tight ends, and then Olamide Zaccheaus and Cole Kmet. I think that's the pecking order, and then work your way out to the wide receivers.
I'll throw in just as we talk the O-line, it sort of also falls into my actual Bears worst. Is that just looking at it, and the Theo Bennett story is great. The bald eagle, I mean, who knows how high guy's going to go if he'll actually at some point be the Bears starting left tackle. But you're looking at the Ozzy Trapillo progress, if you want to call it that. He's now playing right tackle a ton. You just drafted Darnell Wright 10th overall for that position. Karan Amagaji I know we're going to get into all this, but it's kind of the moving parts of the Bears offensive line right now as they related to where they were drafted. It ain't great. As far as Poles' resume is concerned, the way things are falling out right now, and obviously that can change. But just looking at it right now, if you're the right tackle behind Darnell, maybe you're never playing, and Karan's never playing, and the undrafted guys in there, and I mean I assume Braxton's going to be the starter and all that. And I thought he played. I didn't watch a ton of him, but when I was paying attention to him, I thought he looked okay. So I did that part of it just doesn't look that great right now.
What did you see, Hoge, when you rewatched with the left tackles between Braxton and Theo? Were you able to get a closer eye on that through some of your film breakdown?
Yeah, I mean, I watched Braxton every one of Braxton's snaps, and I thought he was perfect except for one. Perfect's not the right word. Good except for one. But the one he didn't lose right away, and the ball was out before he did lose. So. He still doesn't look completely comfortable to me. He still doesn't look completely strong enough to be able to anchor. I'm worried about the matchup in week 1. But he passed the test on Sunday night. But he's somebody that I'd like to see play Friday night too. I need to see him. Tomorrow's practice is going to be in pads. I need to see him back it up tomorrow. Look a lot better than he did on Friday. He basically reversed what he did a week ago against the Dolphins, where he looked good in the Dolphins practice and then bad in the game. This time around, he looked bad in the practice and good in the game. Well, you need to look good in both, right? Now, there's not going to be a joint practice this week. So Wednesday is your practice to look good. And Friday is your game to look good, the way I look at it. And I need to see more. I was a little surprised he didn't stay in the game after all the starters came out. Like 14 snaps versus Theo, basically more than doubling that up, almost tripling that up. Kind of surprised me. So I think it's a pretty good indicator. They think it's Braxton Jones. And at least he played well. But I don't know. I still kind of have an uneasy feeling about that whole situation.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing is I agree. I thought he held up fine. He did his job. I thought they created some clean pockets for Caleb Williams, and he was included in that. But when you just watch him specifically, it does kind of feel like him. And I'll just completely continue to admit this, that I am keeping like such a heavy critical eye towards Braxton. So I am trying to be fair to it, but it also feels like he's just like holding on for dear life. Like he's catching these blocks and it feels like he's going to get blown up. Like he held the line, but it just doesn't feel like when you watch it, it doesn't look like strength. It looks like he's just hanging on for dear life. Like I said, the other guys are pushing their guys forward and he's always kind of getting pushed back a little bit. Is that fair?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's mostly fair. We got to take a break here, though. We're up against it. Craig will hit your super chat on the other side. Got a lot more coming up. We're going to talk about whether Braxton and more importantly, well, not more importantly, but maybe more of a debate on if the other starters should play on Friday night in Kansas City. We'll talk about that all coming up next. But first, hey, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, new customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Just sign up, use the code CHGO365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. And right now, with baseball going on, you can get the Bet365 early payout offer. That means you're a winner. If your team goes up 5 runs at any point in the game, an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use code CHGO365, deposit 10, place a bet for $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counsel services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. In-app.
Yeah, in-app only indeed. Oh, I love my friends at Bet365. I also love saving money. How do you do that? Well, if you live in Cook County, you've heard a lot about that. Shout out Kevin Warren. And you're paying taxes, you don't want to pay the full taxes. You want to get to know our friends at Ownwell. That's OWNWELL. Listen, in Cook County, Ownwell has a 25% contingent fee. They are only going to charge you if you use them if your property taxes are reduced. Put your property tax money back in your pocket. Do it in just minutes. No stress or big time investment. 86% of Ownwell's customers receive a reduction. You're going to have on average over $1,102 coming back to you. Save money on your Cook County property tax with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your appeal today at ownwell.com/cook. That's OWNWELL.com/cook. I'd like to apologize to anybody who saw my nose hairs in ways that they didn't need to see them.
Sign up for Ownwell.
I love my friends at Ownwell. That is one of our most useful advertisers, for the record, but it's a little too close for comfort. Just some people are getting their nose waxed nowadays. Shout out our guy. I miss you, Nicky.
Your head in the frame.
I'll do better. It was the first thing, I got no excuses. It was a bad job. Never again. Can't really promise.
The best part is that you didn't see Greg and me doing the same thing.
Yeah,
all right. If you're listening to the podcast, I apologize. You have no idea what we're talking about, but we move on.
I got too close to the camera. Podcast listener onlys. My bad.
That's right. Starters Friday night, Kansas City. Andy Reid said that they will start the game and then we'll go from there. So I can't imagine the starters for Kansas City are going to play too much. But we're going to see some of them. So that makes, of course, my wife's immediate follow-up was, does that mean Taylor Swift will be at the game? I don't know. It's an entirely different question and answer. I wouldn't go if I was her for a preseason game, but maybe she'll be there. More importantly, should the Bears play their starters? Ben Johnson was asked about this after the game on Sunday night, and let's see what we can make of his answer.
We'll talk about it as a staff one more time, and once again, we take into account the number of reps they're having here. I know we're going to have a good padded practice on Wednesday. We need one more of those, and then we'll kind of see with what we need to see. I thought a big part of what tonight was about was getting our routine down for a home night game, which is week one for us. And so I thought our starters did a great job. They understood what the purpose was. They came out and got the job done, did what they needed to do, and then we got them out of the game. But I thought the routine was a big part of it, and this will be really the first time we're on the road here in the preseason, so it's probably good to go through that exercise as well.
Sounds like a lean towards playing the starters on Friday night, at least have them go out there for a series to go through that routine stuff for whatever that's worth. I mean, they have not been on the road at all. Every joint practice has been at home. Every preseason game has been at home. So this is their one road trip of the preseason. And I don't think it's the end of the world, but I do think there is some value towards the routine. I think more importantly is the reps and what you still need to get worked out. And you're not practicing a whole lot of another small sign is they went from having a practice scheduled Monday, which was then canceled after they played on Sunday night, to then canceling today's practice, which is now just a walkthrough, to now there's a big padded practice Wednesday, which was always on the schedule. So, but you've been all this talk about reps, you've taken away reps the last couple of days. That's an indication to me that they're going to practice tomorrow and they're going to play Friday. But I'm just sort of guessing on that, trying to put all this together.
I'm assuming that there's nobody out there that doesn't want the starters to play on Friday night. At least, first of all, you get to go against the Chiefs once for a little bit, which you didn't get in the Buffalo game. So there's an advantage there. Second of all, look across the other field. Andy Reid wins every single year. Guy's going to go down as in top 3 NFL coaches of all time. Plays his players in the preseason. That's how they do it. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. I know Sean McVay doesn't, and it's not a universal thing, but come on. Also, let him build on this, man. Let's build on what's going on here, and outside of the building part, let's also continue to figure some things out, get more comfortable. Pole's talking about hitting the ground running. I'm sure they all would like to do that. I think you set yourself up better to do that by playing at least some on Friday night.
Yeah, I just I don't see the value in preseason reps, so I don't think they should play. No, of course I'm kidding. They should play on Friday.
That was so funny.
Okay. Hey, Gregory, carte blanche. How much do they play? You play them a half, 3/4?
No, I mean they played. I would have played them a half on Sunday night.
Right.
They played 2 series, so I'll take 1 series. Okay, I'll try to be
series.
Reasonable. I mean,
Let me ask you a better question. What about the defense?
Right, I'd play both of them at least a quarter personally.
Wow,
like this used to be. All right, timeout. This used to be the point in the preseason where teams would play their starters through the first half. The third preseason game, how many days? So what? We're 20 days away right now. So by Friday we'll be, help me do the math, somebody. Jesus, I can't do this.
We're 20 days away.
16 days away, whatever.
Oh, by Friday.
Yeah, by Friday.
How many days between August 22nd and September 8th, Greg?
20? Is it 20?
17, buddy. 17.
What? 17 days. Whatever.
9 plus 8 is 17. There's 31 days in August.
Thank you. You helped me. I don't need anything else. 17 days from Friday. So this used to be the time where you'd play a whole half. So yes, I would play the starters a quarter at the very least, like meet me halfway. But if you only play a series, at the very least, get suited up, go through your routine like Ben Johnson talked about, like going through the routine of a Sunday night game, a primetime game at home. Now go through the routine of playing on the road. Because I'll also point out that the Vikings did not play J.J. McCarthy in their preseason game this last weekend. So if that continues and they don't play J.J. McCarthy and their starters with Minnesota here for the last preseason game, then the time between the first preseason game and week 1 for the Vikings starters would be 30 days. I did that math. So 30 days is a long time for a quarterback that's never started in the NFL to take his first time out on Soldier Field on the road against the Dennis Allen defense. I'm trying to get competitive advantage as much as I can, and I want the Bears ultimately to be as ready as they possibly can be for this, because 17 days is still a long layover before the next time you have live bullets.
Last week's
I'm bored with all that math. It's just,
I also kind of got a little bored. I got a little bored. I started staring at it. I started staring at the Jordan photo over Hoge's right shoulder. But listen, hey, last week, what was everybody celebrating? That Caleb and the offense were stacking days. There was the best build of training camp, back to back to back into the game, and then a solid Sunday night. Let's continue the stack plan here. Stack it up, stack it in. Let me begin. I'm old, so I use that as a reference. It's not a sin. So look,
good Wisconsin reference.
Thank you. Play your starters, dude. We don't need enough with the reinventing the wheel. I think they will.
Okay, but this is not black and white, and we got to stop making it black and white. The defense is good.
I'm with you. Okay, I'm with you on the defense. I'm with you on the defense. It's fine. Are you okay? If that's the case, then who's your starting quarterback outside of Jalen? Is that figured out in your mind?
That's why I'm saying it's not black and white. It doesn't have to be all of them. It can be some of them. It can be like even on offense. Joe Thuney should not play. Don't need Joe Thuney to play. I'm good. On defense, okay, they haven't figured out that corner thing. Then Deshaun Wright and Tyreek Stevenson should still play if they're healthy. Although they're getting pretty darn thin at corner. I don't know if people are realizing that. So maybe
you don't want Thuney to play alongside Braxton so they can build some chemistry.
The only reason there is gray area is if anyone were to get hurt. Because yes, we can acknowledge the amount of injuries this team sustained on Sunday, specifically on defense. So that's a concern.
Not true. I don't need Dennis Allen to show any more of what they're doing defensively.
They don't show anything anyway. Like, and whatever they do show,
with the last 3 plays of the game.
Who was that lunatic that came flying in there?
Jeez. I mean, you think
that was amazing.
Showing defensive coverages as if Dennis Allen has secret defensive coverages that no one's ever seen before. Like, we're not reinventing the wheel here in Chicago. I know we're excited for a competent coaching staff, but yes, all reps are meaningful. Letting these guys get out there and play together. You know, everybody tried to sell me 2 weeks ago that the starters didn't need to play. All of a sudden they play well on Sunday night. Now we're enjoying the fact that they get to, have that success and that momentum to build off of this week. So yeah, it does. It is valuable. And if it isn't, then quit trotting poor Andrew Billings out there for a whole half while he takes on the entire Buffalo Bills offensive line.
That was in my notes. The Billings
straw man arguments in there right there. Like, first of all, a week ago, the argument is that just wait a week. It doesn't need to be the entire preseason. So then they played week 2. Good. They got what they needed. And again, I am not against the offensive guys playing Friday night. I think they probably should continue that momentum. But the defense is good to me. So if they want to play them, fine. But you're risking injury, and you are putting things on tape, whether you like it or not. I actually think it's a good thing that Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are out right now, as long as they come back week 1, because we know that Dennis Allen wants to use Kyler Gordon in a bunch of different ways. Nobody knows what those ways are right now. Most importantly, Kevin O'Connell. So that anybody, if you're sitting there really trying to deny the schematics of this, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
I do love the window into the secretive Hoge. Like he's got stuff that he wants to keep in his holster, to ready to unleash it at the right time when it makes the most sense for the ultimate victory. Greg, maybe me and you could learn something about that and apply it to our media careers and family lives. I'm more on the meatball Gregory thing. You ain't holding anything back. Just get out there and show me you can play and kick some ass and let's go. But
where's the same energy then for DeAndre Swift not playing?
I think DeAndre Swift should play. I think he should play. Was he in the Hall of Fame last year? Did he make a Pro Bowl? Let's go. I saw him drop more balls than he caught. Like the chop, get them all out there. Unless they're battling injury. I mean, you're Gordon and
they are.
I know. I understand.
Hey, what do you need to learn from Patrick Mahomes on Friday? Is he playing?
Is he playing? Argument. There's a good argument.
Is he playing? Answer the question, nerd boy.
Wow, I'm so happy to be back. Nerd boy fires.
Don't give me a diatribe. Is Patrick Mahomes playing on Friday?
Yes. What does that have to do with the Bears defense? What does that have to do with the Bears defense?
Every single Chicago Bears should play on Friday because there's nothing we need to learn from Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, then if Patrick Mahomes plays 3 snaps and hands the ball 3 times, then every single starter should be pulled out after 3 snaps. Every single one of them, no exceptions. That is just idiotic
Greg.
logic.
Meatball.
That has nothing to do with anything.
It's always been my philosophy.
Go to break, Steven.
For real.
Looking to buy, sell, trade, or rip open a pack of cards? While Arena Club is changing the hobby with their transparent slab packs and no-fee auctions. You got to check out these slab packs, ladies and gents. Arena Club makes it easy to collect the cards you love. Get authentic, graded cards instantly on Arena Club. You decide. Hold, sell, or have it shipped to you directly. You can also decide to take it instant cash offer based on market value. With slab packs, you can rip a pack for as low as $25 and hit on a card that's worth tens of thousands of dollars. It is changing the game indeed. You got to check out Arena Club. So right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO and use the code CHGO. Rip open a pack, get your gold pack, get your football pack, pull out a Caleb Williams card, make some money.
And new vehicles are in store at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. This is your chance to score a great deal at the Labor Day sales event going on right now. Head to Ray CDJR and Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram vehicles. It's where I go. It's where I got my Jeep. And right now you can get up to $15,000 off MSRP or get 0% financing for 72 months on the new 2025 Jeep Wagoneer S. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. The team at Ray CDJR, they're here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. And with Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons or hidden fees ever. The prices we tell you about on this show are the prices that you pay when you go into the store. So don't miss out on the Labor Day sales event for huge savings on the Jeep Wagoneer S. They've been serving the community since 1963. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. All right. Time is running out here to finalize the 53-man roster. And to give you a little sneak peek, Johns and I are working on a 53-man roster projection for CHGO diehards. So our diehards will be able to read that here in the next 24 to 48 hours. We're hoping to get a little bit more injury news on or updates on some of these guys that got banged up Sunday night, because that could definitely impact some of these things. But I still think there's a couple discussion points that came up in what we've already worked on. And that is, we'll go through a couple of these positions, but we'll start with running back. And the question is, who is your 5th running back And if you want to even say third, you can. But right now we're assuming DeAndre Swift and Carman are good to go, which they should be. And I think if he's healthy, Roschon Johnson still. Who should be RB4 then? Because you still got Ian Wheeler. You got the Hankins, who looked pretty. I mean, he got the first carries the other night, which seemed notable. And don't forget about Travis Homer, who they like on special teams. So I don't know who wants to go first here, but that's the first talking point here is who is the fourth running back.
Yeah, I'll go with
Go ahead.
obviously Swift, Monangai, Travis Homer for special teams. If Roschon Johnson is healthy, then he's your fourth. I know we haven't seen much, and I know he's going to be a hot button guy that people think may get cut, and I think that's fair to throw out there. It's certainly not off the table, but at the same time, from what we've seen at training camp when they have gone live, and there has been those really physical practices. You guys were there for that Tuesday one where they did goal line red zone live, and Roschon Johnson was getting that ball. And that was the day that the offense really made a statement back at the defense from the ugly family fest showing that they had. So that was kind of like a moment there where it was like, oh, that's kind of when you talk about the physical identity that we were talking about earlier in the show. I think that's the vision that Ben Johnson has for Roschon Johnson. Now the question is he healthy? You know, I see Gary in the chat saying that he might. Could he start out on IR, which would throw a little wrench in what we're trying to do right here. So I have Roschon as my fourth, Ian Wheeler from the practice squad. But if Roschon is injured and on IR, how does that change things? I guess is the bigger question.
I'm going off the board here because I certainly wouldn't have said this before Sunday night, but Britton Brown looked great. 38 was touching it a ton. He's Duke, UCLA, Las Vegas Raider, 6 games in the NFL, never touched it. Poles shouted him out in his interview that as like training camp surprises. He mentioned him and Jade Walker. I don't know, man. That room is underwhelming to me. We could use a surprise. This is a third-year player. He was a 7th-round draft pick. As you're talking about the 4th running back, that feels way up for grabs, and I almost would make a bet on. I'd almost go. I'm going to go B squared. Britton Brown out of nowhere. I'd keep an eye on him. I thought he looked the best on Sunday night.
Well, and it was, I thought, notable when Hankins came out with the injury that Britton Brown got the first reps before Ian Wheeler did. Ian ended up having a really nice night, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns, but Britton Brown got the first reps before Wheeler did.
And he looked good, didn't he? I was
That's
like, who the hell is this guy?
But what you guys are describing here, and I agree with you. I like that you went off the board here with Britton Brown, and I do think Roschon Johnson is maybe in the conversation of a surprise cut. Don't know the severity of that injury, if that lands him on an IR to start the season or not. But kind of why I think it's going to end up being chalk here, and chalk being Swift, Homer, Johnson, Monangai, is because I like Ian Wheeler, I like Deion Hankins, I like Britton Brown. So expose them all to waivers. If you lose one, the other 2 can go on your practice squad and you're fine. You know what I mean? So like that's where I think it's just gonna end up being chalk here with that type of logic. And I also would circle running back as a position that I could see an addition made off of waivers.
Yep.
Or, a small trade with a late round pick or something like that too. I wouldn't take that off the table.
Well, to me, it all comes down to how they're thinking about Roschon, right? Because they like Monangai. Swift's obviously here, and they love Travis Homer too from a special team standpoint. So I think those 3 are there. Now, if they're ready to move on from Roschon, who by the way has gotten plenty of carries at the goal line this all training camp long and in games, and is maybe your best short yardage back. If they're punting on that, then things get a little more interesting, I guess.
Let's talk about the offensive line next. This is another thing I was kind of getting hung up on as we were going through this exercise, Johnsy and I our 53-man roster projection. 9 or 10 O-linemen, I think, is the question. And we can go through it right now. Braxton Jones makes it. Joe Tooney makes it. Drew Dahlman makes it. Jonah Jackson makes it. Darnell Wright makes it. Ozzie Trapillo is 6. Ryan Bates is your backup center right now. That's 7. Luke Newman has shown the ability to play swing guard for you. That's 8. Which leaves Karan Amagaji and Theo Benedict. Now, there's a couple different things here that I think makes this interesting. If you keep both Karan and Theo, that's 10 offensive linemen, and it's 3 backup tackles, and 5 tackles overall. But the 3 backup tackles, I mean, I guess Benedict in a pitch could probably play guard, but when you're talking backup linemen, you're talking about guys who can play multiple positions. And it seems a little redundant to me to keep both. So I wonder if, and then the other side of this too is like, do you keep a Bill Murray or Chris Glazer in there? Because that's another interior depth guy, because the only 2 interior depth guys, if you keep this group that we're talking about, is Ryan Bates and Luke Newman. So I think you either expand this to 10 to keep both Karan and Theo so you don't lose any of them, and you keep the competition going into the regular season, which I think is a real possibility.
Yep.
Or you say, hey, look, one of you has to go to the practice squad. It's just the way the numbers are working here. And you make a decision between Karan and Theo. So let's start with this, because I'm going to ask a couple different questions here. This can be a 2-parter to start. I mean, do you keep 9 or 10 all linemen? And if you are going 9, who do you keep between Karan and Theo?
Okay, so let me take this part. I don't know if 9 or 10, but Theo is ahead of Karan in my mind. This is Ben Johnson's show right now. Ben has underlined Theo. Theo's getting first team reps. Karan has been close to that. So it's got to be the bald eagle ahead of him. Now, how much is Ryan Poles with a new fresh contract extension and just willing to write off a 3rd-round pick before he saw the field for 5 seconds against the Minnesota Vikings? If he doesn't want to eat that, then I think Karan will be on the roster. And by the way, I've been rooting for Karan this whole time. I like Karan. Karan, though, at this point, his path to playing for the Bears is awful thin, it seems like. I mean, unless we just start piling up the injuries, which would be a nightmare.
Especially if he doesn't have, like Hoge says, if there's no versatility of making him a guard.
Can you play guard? Which I think he can. I would like to think he can. I'm basing that on nothing, but I'm just like, come on. If you could play tackle, you could slide in and play guard, and maybe be even better at guard. So I wouldn't expect them to cut Karan, because I think it's just a bad look for the GM. So my guess is that it would be 10, but Bennett's got to be ahead of him.
Yeah, so for me, I would be keeping 10. If it's 9, then yes, Theo. Everything we've seen over the last 2 weeks, it's clear Theo would. Karan Amagaji's playing with the 3rd team. Theo Benedict's splitting reps with the 1st team. That's not even a conversation. Theo is ahead of Karan Amagaji if it comes down to picking between the 2. But I do think they're going to keep 10. Then to me, the question comes down to with Karan, and I know there's some injuries on the offensive line, but like you brought this up a few days ago, Hoge, who's their backup center? And I think that's going to be the big question. Ryan Bates got, center snaps on Sunday night, and from people that know better than me thought he did a good job.
It's Ryan Bates. He's the backup center.
Right. That's fine. But Ryan Bates also got a long history of injuries. Right. So you've got a shaky, you brought this up, Hoge, and I agree with you. Like, it's shaky behind, your starting center, Drew Dahlman, who also has had injuries the last couple years. And so I think you got to make sure. I mean, I think Doug Kramer can make to the practice squad as well, but I just am thinking about the insurance policies that they need to make sure they have for that center position. That being said, I do think it would be Theo and Karan 9-10, and then Kramer or Stromberg or both on the practice squad, but I am thinking about those insurance policies on at the center spot for that as well.
Well, I'm just wondering if it goes to 9 and out of necessity for other positions and just the overall numbers, because you can't forget that in these that 53rd spot is you usually going to go to somebody who you're actually going to have active on game day because he's playing special teams, not a 53rd guy who's just, oh, we don't want to lose this. 52 and 53 are Theo and Carman, but they're both going to be inactive. Like, that's just not usually how the numbers work. So I'm looking at it with the defensive ends in particular. Montez Sweat, Dio Dango, Dominique Robinson, Austin Booker make it. What about Daniel Hardy on special teams?
He does love to run down and kill somebody. That's it's a Hardy special. Okay, fair enough.
So I think that there's a world in which I don't know which spot it's gonna be, but I'm looking at those whole linemen and I'm looking at how redundant it would be to keep Ozzie, Theo, and Carman when you have other needs and guys who could actually be up and playing for you on special teams on Sunday. I feel like it could come down to a Daniel Hardy versus that last offensive lineman at the end. And in that spot, I'm probably going to lean Hardy. So then are you cutting Theo or Karan Amagaji?
Could you trade Karan Amagaji, right? Karan in a 7th for a 6th. Could you get that?
That's where I don't know, but that's where this gets interesting, because there's no debate here that Theo is ahead of Karan in the pecking order, but Theo's probably easier to get to your practice squad than Karan is, just because of the pedigree. And it's not just that he was drafted in the 3rd round, although that does seem to count. He has long arms, he has the size, the frame, and everything, and you could have some team be like, you know what, let's take a flyer on. The same way the Bears did that a few years ago with what was that offensive lineman from Alabama? The Raiders casted off, the former 1st rounder, and
Leatherwood.
Alex Leatherwood. Yeah.
They took a flyer and it didn't work. A lot of times it doesn't work, but all it takes is one team to try to do it. Whereas I feel like Theo, as good as a story as this has been, is another team going to take Theo, who's got short arms? They don't know him as well. They're going to take a flyer on him, put him on their 53. Like, it's to me, it's much more likely he would pass through waivers and end up on your practice squad, even though he probably deserves it more than Karan Amagaji. So do you try to trade him? That's a great question by you, Carm. It's worth making some phone calls. Those are the type of phone calls that do get made at cutdown time. And don't forget, last year, that Poles pulled off a couple of those deals, adding Chris Williams and adding your guy from that edge rusher from Seattle.
Oh, yeah, that
Darrell
guy.
Daryl Taylor. I saw him on some preseason game I was watching the other day. He was playing.
Remember when he had that sack and I was like, this is the greatest trade in Poles' history? And he gave up a 6th-round pick and this guy's already made an impact, and then he didn't do anything the rest of the season. But I see you, Darrell Taylor. He's a Houston Texans. He's a Texan. Thank you very much, Darrell Taylor.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to keep the offensive linemen until they figure out what they have, but I understand your point about, that 53rd guy having to play on special teams. That's why I've always kind of kindly skipped out of this exercise every year. Like I'm always looking at the value of like best players that I want on the roster. That's why I get hung up on guys like Reddy Stewart last year and other guys. But there's a special teams aspect to this that it just the numbers game, and everyone knows how good I am with numbers, that I just kind of kindly sit out of this exercise most of the time. But I see the value in both guys. But if I had to pick between the two, I'm trying to keep as many offensive linemen as I can until I figure out exactly what I have in that room.
I think we need to underline the Hoge redundancy point is a very good one. Hoge redundancy is I think that is a fair thing and likely how the Bears might be looking at it. Shout out Kevin Fishbane's made some amazing comments all show long, by the way. Apparently he's going to be on Hogan Johns tomorrow. Is that accurate?
No.
We're going to be on his show. Breaking in. Yeah. Big one tomorrow.
Don't forget to listen to Breaking In with Kevin Fishbane tomorrow to hear Hogan John's origin stories. I mean, Carm, we haven't
origin.
Been like Kevin.
What did you
origin story?
Virgin stories?
Origin story.
Origin. See, that's actually as far as dumb brags things go, your vocab's not bad. It's more everything else. Like your math.
Yeah, my math is much worse than my vocabulary.
Like
I have a very good vocabulary.
Is
something funny, Hoge? Because I will take you off this screen right now. One more word.
Hey, Greg.
Please do. I got to go to Hallis.
Greg, what's 5 times 7 times 2?
We're not doing this.
Why not?
We're not doing this.
One time. 5 times 7 times 2.
The 53.
Huh?
We have more with the 53.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
I thought he was saying 53.
So did I. I thought he got the 53. I should have done a 53 for him, actually.
All right. Here, let's get Gary Ross's super in here. Yes, Breaking In with Kevin Fishman. Go subscribe to it. New episode out tomorrow. John Z and I are both on it. $5 super from Gary Ross. My roster projection is 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers. Hang on here.
I can do the rest. 3 tight end.
No. I was just double checking with what we got so far.
Okay.
That's spot on so far, Gary. O-line 10. That's where we're still debating. Defensive ends 4. Defensive tackles 5. That's interesting. Linebackers 5. Special teams 3 and safeties 4.
What about the one floater that Ross is floating? Nobody floats a floater the way Ross floats a floater.
The Ross floater?
The Ross floater.
Well, there was once a great basketball shot called the Hoger floater, but we kind of lost that along the way.
I think you once hit a Hoge floater on me at the old East Bay Club back in the day.
I'm sure I did. I used to just be automatic with those. Now they don't go in.
Yeah. You know who's got the ugliest jump shot I've ever seen? That's right. He's to my right.
Be nice.
When do I shoot the basketball?
We shot it at Midtown. You had like this 2-handed weird thing that you were doing. It was
mean when I balled you up?
Yeah, when you balled me up. When you balled me up. You balled me.
Stop saying that, please.
All right, we got to get back on focus. It is.
Yeah, let's just get to super chats.
What about the 7th corner? Come on.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Trey Flowers, right? Everybody's hurt. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Sean Wright, that's 3. Tyreek Stevenson, that's 4. Josh Blackwell's 5. I think at this point, Nick McLeod gets in there.
I think so.
6. Because Blackwell and he was hurt the other day too.
And Gary keeps pointing out how McLeod has been getting reps ahead of Josh Blackwell, at these practices.
Well, I mean, he played well the other night too. So, but Blackwell's making it. Obviously, they just extended him, and he's a key special teamer. We played you the comments from Richard Hightower last week. So the 7th corner to me has to be Trey Flowers at this point. Now that Terrell Smith's, I would have put Terrell Smith in there, but he got hurt.
And then,
that's
the question that I don't know when we'll ever get an answer. Not that, we absolutely need one, but the Zay Frazier thing, has just been an interesting, underlining of the offseason. I know he's personal reasons, so I'm assuming it's something serious that's none of our business, but it's just, not having him around this whole time and what they're going to do with his roster spot, or, I think Gary said, NFI, non-football injury list. So, but
yeah, that's there's no chance he's on the 53 one way or the other.
Yeah. So. Real quick here, Hoge, just stuff that I left off as we just look at the roster. One guy who's on this roster, not that it's a big surprise, but Ruben Hippolyte played 8,000 snaps the other night. That dude is literally, he's on special teams. He's playing. I mean, he's all over the place. We haven't shouted him out to you today. I thought that Ruben has had a pretty damn good week solidifying himself on this roster. I don't, still think he's, not going to get a ton of time once the season comes. But that pick, which was looking awful, at least to me, seemed like a reach at the time. It seems like they got that one right. As far as
but he hasn't pushed for the starter job, which was what it was looking like at the start of camp. So I don't think it's been a great camp for him, but he's on the 53-man roster. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's that's your look at the 53 as it stands now. It is still a little confusing with about a week to go until those cuts need to be made. In fact, I think it is next week. It's Tuesday. So Friday will go a long way into figuring that all out. Let's get to super chats
and injury updates too. Booker.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Rob, those other guys.
So and that is going to impact who's playing on Friday too. Jason Kane, $2 insight on the number 18 sock situation. Is that a dress code fine?
I was interested about that. He didn't have him pulled up. It was like he was wearing his capris.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, Jason. I don't know, and I don't care. One of the most ridiculous things to me is how much they're like, what color shoes you can wear and what socks you can wear, and blah 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 blah. It's the NFL. If he wants to have his socks rolled down, I did notice it, and he also had the pants above the knees too, which in high school is a problem. You got to have the knee pads on. But
and he took his pads off after he played.
Yeah.
Hoge was wondering why he took his pads off while we were watching the game. And then I saw last night Jaden Daniels took his pads off after he ran in for the touchdown. I was going to text you about that, but
you should have. I don't know. Josh Allen had his pads on till the end of the game.
Did you notice? Here's a hot Carm take. Did you notice when they were walking off the field how intense Ben looked walking off the field, and how Caleb was going around looking for someone to talk to, and nobody was talking to Caleb? I don't know if it was because he was out of his uniform, but he was looking for a friend, and nobody was talking to him. I didn't like that. Show the second year QB some respect walking off the field. Tell him how good he. Yeah.
The only thing about that registers in my head at all is I'm shocked you made it that far in the game.
I did
That's crazy. We didn't notice that because we went to go do a post-game show.
I did a deep breakdown of the players walking off the field.
Yeah, you probably did.
Ian Wheeler was having a great conversation, was having a lot of fun out there. Caleb just didn't get enough love. I thought it was disappointing. Show the man some respect.
Did you enjoy Ben's Terminator face while they were up 28-0 right before the half? That was pretty funny.
I mean, it's like that Terminator face is all happened. I don't know how we've gotten through this whole pile without mentioning the incredible performance by 17, who, again, the Bears should extend.
We almost made it.
The Bears should extend immediately. But that guy looked great again. No surprise. 17 flying down both sidelines, looking all athletic. Greg Olsen shouting him out. It was another great day for 17.
No, it was. He played great. No
fantastic question. I was getting texts from national people.
Your friends.
Nick Wright.
AKA Daddy Parkin saying, extend that guy now. Parko was all.
I was getting texts from national guys. They were both at my wedding, but they're national
guys.
Mike Tirico randomly got his number.
Yeah. Joe Buck was texting me about how good.
I don't know why Joe Buck isn't texting me. Joe Buck should be texting me. I'll tell him everything that's going on with that backup quarterback situation in Chicago. Damn it.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So all three quarterbacks stay on the roster, right? Or how does that third quarterback thing work again? You want to explain that to the idiot?
No, I don't. Program? They're all gonna be on the team.
Okay. Can you also explain to me how anybody ever said to me they don't think that Tyson's not going to beat out Case Keenum?
Well, we do this to you every preseason. Last year it was who was the backup that we tried to
I don't think he can beat out Keenum, Carm. Keenum's the man. I love Keenum.
Who was the backup last year that we had you worried about after the Hall of Fame?
Rippin'?
Rippin'. Oh, Rippin', Carm, Rippin'. He's ripping it. Guy's crushing.
Okay. We got to go to overtime, and when we get back from that little overtime animation that pops up. You two are going to stop talking so I can get through the super chats and go to Hal's Hall, please. Become a diehard. Scan that QR code, allchgo.com/diehard. $36 right now to sign up. You get all our great content, and it's all there for you. Plus 20% off of merch and events. Let's go to overtime. All right, Craig Leach, my bad. I meant to get to this a lot earlier in the show. $20, a big money super check coming in from Craig Leach. Bragg's Sunday post game, I was referring to the coaching staff's lack of confusion and actual game day competence when I was saying playbook, unlike previous iterations. Carm is back, baby. Bring out the trolls.
Thank you, Leach.
Look at that beard by Craig Leach there.
It's next level.
Don't mess with Leach. For real.
Thomas Swartz, $2. Is Cole going to do the 85 show? Bear down. Thomas, we are just as a company not ready to announce what our plans are for the regular season yet. So I appreciate the super, but cannot answer it right now. So stay tuned.
I can't confirm. Yeah. I was going to say, I can't confirm at this point. I'm still on the show for the season. At least I haven't heard anything else. So,
William Foster, $10. I'm probably being dramatic, but I really hope they don't coach the thing that made Caleb special out of him. Like, I don't want him to turn into a robot. The kid has something different. So, yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't worry about that, William. That's an impossibility. He is who he is.
Yeah. He's not going to turn into a robot. Brawl Sack, $10. Carm back is refreshing, but not as refreshing as the new Midnight Baja Blast exclusively at Taco Bell. Hashtag sponsor CHGO.
Yeah, I mean, DNVR has a collab with Taco Bell, and the fact that we don't here is a huge failure on my part. Probably my biggest failure so far at this company. So I apologize to everyone, and I appreciate Brawlsack and his efforts to try to help me get this sponsorship done.
I'll tell you what, the Culvers in Toma, Wisconsin, they come to play. The most happy service ever. Fresh. It was delicious. Really enjoyed it. It's only 3 hours away. Go to Toma for a good Culvers.
There's like 800 around Chicago. You don't need to go to Toma.
Yeah, but I'm telling you this. I think the best Culvers is in Toma, Wisconsin. If you're in Toma, don't. That's how wide my mouth was when I was eating that Culvers in Toma. I was crushing that thing. It was so good. Double burger. And right into whatever they do. What is it? The concrete mixers? Oh yeah. Toma.
Craig Leach, $2. Meatball season. Break out the missing harmonica.
Don't know where it is.
Steven, keep them rolling, please.
Did you steal it, Braggs? You might have stolen it.
Gary's we already read. Greg Leach, another 20. Theo was signed because we already had a problem at left tackle. Now it's impaired. Theo was here last year, man. Crystal, $5. Carm, you get a super. Welcome back. I missed you if no one else did. Great show, guys. Bear down.
Crystal, I missed you too and was so happy that softball got rained out last night so we can play the semifinals next week. Of course, I'll be gone next week to the U.S. Open for my final 3 days of vacation of the year.
Oh, you're going on vacation again?
It's just 3 day, Eric Hoge. We'll see you. I'll be back Thursday.
Remember when he said he was going to take us to the U.S. Open?
Yeah,
do you remember that?
You're invited. Let's go. Let's do the show from there.
Okay.
Come on in. Bear with me. Hey, this is an off day for me. Bear with me. I came in for you, buddy. Grom, I'm coming to Brooklyn. Let's go.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow. We will have our last. Well, actually, I don't think it's our last post-practice show, but it's the last one of like a hardcore training camp practice. So it'll be a big one tomorrow. Pads are on at Hallis Hall. We will break it all down when practice is over. I think it's a 5:00 show tomorrow is what we're aiming for. So it will be a little bit later on. And back at it in studio Thursday, Friday, pre and post game. with the Bears headed to Kansas City against the Kansas City Chiefs. We are out of here. Thank you for watching, listening. Please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe. Sorry about Carm and whatever that last 5 minutes was, but we'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you then.
We all silly like the mayor.